Hey guys, so devlog number 2. I'm making my game still. Today's focus is going to be more on the visual side of things. I'm planning on doing a complete visual overhaul of my game. And yeah, everything I'm doing here, I'm making my own assets. I'm probably going to do that for everything except music, which I'll ask some friends if they want to do. I think one person said that they're quite keen on trying, but that'll be for like a later date. But yeah, just enjoy this time lapse, I guess, of me drawing swords. Is what I would say, but it's slightly too long, so I'm just gonna skip most of it. Okay, so I spent some time doing some artwork. I just basically did a massive art overhaul for all of my things. As you can see, the sword, the slime, and all the most of the swords have their own unique models now. The free to hit sword is no longer piss coloured. I've also added these and I've done my own custom font. Alright, that custom font was painful to make, and I mean painful. I followed a tutorial, but it still took me like 2 hours to do. Yeah, but now you can see the enemies have like this dashing animation, at least the sword does. I think that's pretty cool. There is an argument to say that readability is now a lot worse because all the colours blend in a little bit better. But I think since the player itself is not creating any projectiles, it's fine if the colours don't necessarily make conventional sense in the sense that red is bad. And then I added art for these upgrade cards, so I can show you what an older version looks like, just if they're on screen. And then these are new ones. Alright, more post-editing talk. So, I would show you all of the stuff I did with my animator. However, I tried to actually explain it when I was going through it, and that was really boring. So I'm not going to subject you to that. Now, I'm working on flipping my sprite because all of my animations are only facing right. So I want to have it so that when I press A, it looks left. And it took me some time to figure out the logic. TLDR, for some reason, I forgot that when you move left, that the vector 2 turns to -1 instead of not just 0. So that took me a while to figure out, but once I did, it was fine. Anyway, it works now. Yippee. Okay, so I figured it out. The issue was that when you're moving in one of the when you're moving like this angle, yeah. This isn't one, it's something along the lines of that, of root 2. So yeah, so that's a really simple fix, and it's just it's a maths logic fix, which requires me to big brain. It's a little bit too early for that. So I spent some time animating, and now the swords turn into boars. Quite cool. And when they're the boar, the hitbox, the trigger turns off, just because I don't want to have 2 triggers, and otherwise it'd be very misleading and you'll get hit by things you won't agree with. If you want to see how I did it, I have an animator with 3 states, and in my script I just have a bunch of triggers which do things, and then I have animation events which call a bunch of things. So basically at the end of the animation, it does various things. I stuffed it all into one separate script, and my normal sword both have that extra script on the body. I have it on the body because if I want to use animation events, the script has to be on the same game object as the animator. And I'll show you the sword as well. Yeah, you can kind of just see like the difference between the two here. The next bit is me doing the slime. Again, I was doing a tutorial type thing, but it just went on for way too long. Some things to note about the animator: exit time and transition time. Set those to 0 if you want for pixel art, in my opinion. Otherwise, it kind of like buffers on the previous one. Also, when you're dealing with triggers, make sure you have your set triggers, but also your reset triggers. Otherwise, it won't cycle through your transitions. The last couple things I've done is I've added a grid, which allows me to have my floors and walls. My walls have a edge collider. I tried using a tile map collider, but it couldn't quite work out for me. And then the floor is this. I might change it because it's kind of too busy, I think. I might just simplify a bunch. And then I replaced those red dots with portals, and I think they look really cool, and I'm really happy with them. Yeah, I think just generally speaking, having everything be a lot more similar in art style just makes the game look so much better. Like, I haven't even done any new systems in this video, but the game just feels so much smoother to play. Oh no, I'm really happy with these changes. Let me know what you think. I'm going to at some point add a death animation to the weapons. Just there you saw the death animation for the player, which I forgot to talk about. But yeah, what do you guys think? If you've made it to the end of the video, you've probably enjoyed it, so why don't you leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. It would be nice, and I'd appreciate it. But yeah, I don't know how I'm supposed to be ending these.